So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to the Steel Day Mumbai event. I think this is one of the best steel day or the steel engineering building events that happens. We all know that. I see a lot of familiar faces here, and it's always great to meeting you guys. Let me reintroduce myself. I'm BADRUDDIN. I head the business development for the Rockwool group, and I'm going to shed some light on the insulation subject today. The topic of my presentation is how to choose the right insulation. Well, it's going to be a very crisp presentation, and I'm going to just basically focus on the technical parameters and just try to clarify a few myths. So to begin with, let me highlight about our group, the Rockwool group. Now, Rockwool, I think this is one of the most common terms in the construction business. Well, Rockwool is one of the most common terms in the construction business, especially for the steel industry. And at the same time, I must say it is one of the most confusing terms as well. I mean, there is still a lot of confusion in the market that what does Rockwool actually mean? Is it a product or is it a company? ये कोई product का नाम है या किसी brand का नाम है? That confusion is still there. Okay, so I take this opportunity to clarify that Rockwool is a brand. It is not a generic name. Yes, you heard me right. Rockwool is a brand. It's a Danish multinational which started around 85 years back, and the generic name of this material is stone wool. So as a brand or as a company, we are the oldest and the largest manufacturers of this material, stone wool. That's the generic name of the material. So I love giving this example that our situation is like Xerox. हम लोग कभी नहीं बोलते photocopy करवा के लाओ, हम लोग हमेशा बोलते Xerox करवा के लाओ. That's only because that Xerox is such a popular machine, and that's exactly that's exactly happened with our brand also. Rockwool is such a popular name that any material or any company who's manufacturing a similar looking material, they call themselves as Rockwool. So next time if someone comes and tells you that I'm supplying Rockwool, please recheck. Now I'll give you two simple tips how to really spot or identify Rockwool. One, please spot out the original Rockwool logo, the volcano logo in red. That's the original Rockwool logo which will be found everywhere on the data sheet, on the material that is coming to the site and everywhere. That's our global recognition mark of the originality of Rockwool. And the second way is our entity name in India. So when we came in the year 2011 and we set up our factory in Gujarat, we saw that around 12-13 companies have directly copied our name, either as a direct copy or as a prefix or a suffix or whatever it is. So just to differentiate ourselves, we started operating as Roxul Rockwool. Yes, that's our entity name in India. So next time if you want the original Rockwool of Denmark, please contact Roxul Rockwool only. Talking about the purpose of our organization, as an organization, we only do one business, and that is making stone wool. So we are converting the basalt rock that is coming out of a volcanic eruption into fibers. And whatever properties or strengths that a basalt rock has, it's always found in our material also. That's the beauty of our material. I'm going to highlight a little more on that. Okay. Talking about the solutions or the applications that we cater to, I think just taking cue from Raghuram sir's presentation, we are making steel buildings and we need to add value to it, and of course we have to have the payback period also. So that's exactly what we do. We are not making steel buildings, but we are supplying a very, very essential part of the steel building, and that is insulation, to give you the right kind of thermal performance, acoustic performance, and so on. So I'm talking about the applications. Well, the most important application especially is the roofing insulation that is required practically for every pre-engineered building or steel building. So we are catering to underdeck insulation or single skin roofing, double skin roofing, especially infrastructure projects. We also cater to overdeck insulation where the insulation is applied over and above the roof. We are talking about prefabricated sandwich panels and a lot of other applications as visible on the screen. Next subject, mineral wool. How to choose the mineral wool? Well, this is again one of the most confusing terms again. I mean, we have read a lot of BOQs and specifications that mention mineral wool of so-and-so density and so-and-so thickness. Now let me clarify that there is no material called as mineral wool. Mineral wool नाम का कोई material आता ही नहीं है. Mineral wool is the name of the family of all kinds of fibrous insulation materials that are available in the market. So the right side, the names that you see, they are all the generic names of the material, and they all fall under the mineral wool family. So if the architect is only mentioning mineral wool of so-and-so density and so-and-so thickness, the contractor is actually free to choose any of them. And performance-wise, there is a lot of difference between a glass wool versus a slag wool versus a stone wool and so on. So whenever, it's a humble request to all the consultants, architects, and clients that whenever you are selecting insulation or specifying insulation, please make your choice very, very clear what kind of insulation you want. Now talking about stone wool insulation, I just mentioned in the beginning that what we are converting, what we are essentially doing is that we are converting the basalt rock that's coming out of a volcanic eruption into fibers. So whatever properties or strengths a basalt rock has, it is always replicated and found in our material also. Whether I'm using the material for roofing, for a partition, for a sandwich panel, or for a process industry, the basic strengths or the basic properties of stone are always found in our material. And that includes fire performance, acoustic performance, thermal performance. Very, very durable because it is made out of stone. Aesthetic-wise, sometimes, yes, you need that. Very, very good in terms of repellency to moisture and water. So the water absorption rate is very low, moisture absorption is practically nil. And circularity. The material is absolutely reusable. So these are the basic 7 strengths of stone or stone wool, which is always found in our material. So next time you want to choose the insulation, maybe you can, and you want to achieve all these parameters, then stone wool would be your ideal choice. Now, out of these 7 parameters, I'm going to highlight one particular parameter which is directly related to human health, human lives, rather, and that is the fire performance. I think every day practically when you open the newspaper, you see one fire accident happening, some news related to fire, so many lives have gone away, and that's because possibly we are not using the right kind of fire-safe materials. Now, talking about the fire safety, every company or every product person will come and tell you that, okay, my particular material is fire safe, I have this certificate, I have that certificate. But let's understand one thing, the real scenario of fire. What really happens in a fire? Now, when a fire happens in a building, in the first 10 minutes, the temperature reaches 600 degrees Celsius. After 1 hour, say 60 minutes, it's approximately 925 degrees Celsius. And after 2 hours, it's just about 1049 degrees Celsius. And so practically, you need a material which has a melting point of more than 1000 degrees Celsius, and that's exactly what a Rockwool stone wool does. The melting point of our material is 1197 degrees Celsius, to be very precise, and that's why from the entire insulation segment, stone wool is the safest in terms of fire performance. Just to end with, I'm going to show a short video, and that will be the last thing for my presentation. That's an EPS or expanded polystyrene. Next is a polyurethane foam, PU. The last one is XPS or extruded polystyrene. That's again Rockwool. Absolutely fire safe. recap. Thank you so much. My concluding statement would be that there's a big difference between a fire in a building and the entire building on fire. And we can make that difference for you. So please choose your insulation wisely. Thank you.